orbiting from east west. Just going to have a look at gold and silver. The format of these videos is going to short dramatically. I'm sick of putting time in. They don't get traction. People don't really want to watch them. Um, and I'm right, but that doesn't matter. So I'm going to do this very quickly. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go with this. I'm pretty much tired of doing gold and silver. So let's just have a look at this video and see how we go. Okay, so quickly going over this, I don't think we need to spend a lot of time here. You can see here now that the dollar index is kind of double topping out here, and now it's on the back foot again. So, we've got this little range set here. We just saw in gold what happens when ranges break. My expectation is that this will head down, and we've got the 25-point rate cut, or the start of the rate cutting cycle coming up next week on Thursday. I would expect that this dollar index is going to see sub 100. The only danger for the market is that there is a huge amount of expectation on a very dovish Fed. If that gets disappointed, then yes, there is always the chance we push back up. And the disappointment factor could be real. I'm certainly not discounting it. I remain of the view that 50 next week is a ridiculous call, and 100 by the end of the year seems very, very aggressive to me. I can't see it. But, stranger things have happened. Just coming over here, gold real quick. We were talking about the range and the range expansion, and that is almost come to pass already. So, we broke this range. This was all pointed out last week. The 100% of the range here is just shy of 2,600. So I'm kind of looking for the market to perhaps get there before it pauses. Now, I did have an Elliott wave count going on this, but eagle-eyed people might have realized that I did make a bit of a mistake. And it wasn't until I reflected on it when I realized my own mistake. And that, of course, is that in an impulse, wave 4 cannot overlap wave 1, and here it has. So this is not an impulse. And this is the thing with Elliott, right? Sometimes it suits. Sometimes you just got to put it aside, because the only way you can make this fly is to sort of move the one back, and then you just sort of force fitting something to suit your view. You can't do that. You've just got to deal with what the market gives. So do we have one? Do we have two? Is this going to be some sort of third? I don't know how you subdivide it. I'd challenge anyone to subdivide it correctly. When we start looking at some confluence, we do have a good area of confluence here where the 100% of the range expansion would take us right up here to the 1272, which is, the second highest probability area for a wave 3 extension. So, whether or not we put this in the Elliott case, we've got an extended move. Okay, so that remains the key for me. The RSI is warning us now that things are getting pretty heated. So I am actually thinking that we are likely to get some sort of retrace in the not too distant future. Now, personally, I'd like to see this push go a little bit higher and perhaps even sort of claim these areas. Reason being is that if you look at the retracement off the bottom here, if we just came up and sort of tapped into this, what would be nice would be, the 50% pushback to retest that, and that would line up quite nicely before we can expect to go on further. So I said last week, I think this would be a bad place to initiate along in a trading sense. I think this is the pullback sort of that's the scenario that I would favor, and that's what I'd be looking for. Silver now. The good thing here is that the RSI is now starting to move above 60, so that would suggest to me that we are now beginning to go into a period of bullish market activity. So it goes without saying. There's a couple of things here that, of course, we're just sitting on that at the moment. So that we'll just need to break that just to solidify this, that this sort of downward trend is over. So the fact that we've got this now is good. If we can just come up and beat that, then that sort of just solidifies our current uptrend. So these were the areas we were highlighting last week. We've just about made the measured move. So, there is a possibility here that we could start to reach for the second target. Now, that second target on the measured move would put us right up in line with the top here. So, that looks like it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, I would suggest. But just for right now, we're definitely running very, very hot. This is on a 4-hour chart. We're definitely very, very hot as we start to run into the structure up here. So we've sort of come through and beaten this now to a degree. But once again, I'm looking for a retracement now. So I'm looking at buy, I'm looking at any sort of retrace from this movement back into this range. That would sort of come in and test these tops, which would line up quite well. And then it would simply be a matter of trying to trade for the next measured move. So this would come in here. I mean, this is assuming this is the top. This could obviously push a little bit higher into the start of next week. However, I am wary. We're definitely running very, very hot. We've had a very, very sharp rally. The chances of a retrace are pretty good, I think. So it'll just be a matter of trying to find some confluence. Possible if we go a little bit further, the retracements may end up lining up with these sort of peaks. But these haven't offered anything on the way up. We've blown straight through. Okay, so very, very steep. I'm very, very cautious about trying to go long. I'm definitely very, very interested in a pullback. Okay, I think the trend is now definitely solidifying itself. You can just see how it's starting to frame up. I think this is what we look for. Now, to me, it makes a fair bit of sense that if we did have a top round here, we did retrace, that the measured move target would come right into that structure. So that would probably be yet another impediment initially. But this will all go together as a building block, because it's just say, for example, that is what we got. Then all of a sudden we're going to start to get measured move targets that start to come on with this top, would start to line up with the extended level up here. So it's all going together pretty much as I would like to see it. I'm now thinking about this if it does eventuate. But it's definitely now a buyer's market. I think the trend is pretty clear now. It's just a matter of being patient enough to wait for the pullbacks and riding them out. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next week.